Okay, all right. Let's just go ahead and get started, you guys. The time is 7:08. It is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Have a couple of items that we are going to take care of and address today. So let's just go ahead and get started. And let's see, I'm going to ask Giselle if she can unmute herself. Giselle, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and get started with something good, something positive, something on the upside. So, Giselle Mahan has volunteered to step up to the plate to fill the vacancy for the position at Presidio for union secretary. Is that correct, Giselle?
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we would like to swear you in as an officer of TWU Local 258. So I'm going to ask you, do you have a copy of the, what do you call this, the Constitution on you?
Uh-oh.
If no, if not, then that's okay. I can just share my screen and then I'll put it up on the screen so you can follow along. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okay. Giselle, can you see that right there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just do me a favor and hold up your right hand and just repeat after me, please. I
Okay.
solemnly pledge on my honor
I solemnly pledge on my honor
to perform the duties of my office
to perform the duties of my office
as required by the Constitution of the Transport Workers Union of America,
as required by the Constitution of the Transport Workers Union of America,
to bear true and faithful allegiance
to bear true and faithful allegiance
to the international and the local union
to the international and the local union
and the cause of all organized labor,
and the cause of all organized labor,
not to divulge or make known
not to divulge or make known
any private proceedings of this union,
any private proceedings of this union,
to perform faithfully
to perform faithfully
all the duties assigned to me
all the duties assigned to me
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
to deliver to my successor in office
to deliver to my successor in office
all books, papers, and other property
all books, papers, and other property
of the union in my possession
of the union in my possession
at the end of my term,
at the end of my term,
to conduct myself at all times
to conduct myself at all times
as becomes a member and officer
and becomes a member and officer
of the Transport Workers Union,
of the Transport Workers Union,
and to discharge all my obligations
and to discharge all my obligations
to the end that victory
to the end that victory
shall crown all our efforts.
shall crown all our efforts.
Congratulations and thank you so much, Giselle, for stepping up to the plate. This is exactly what we are in need of right here, you guys, is more leadership, more women participation, independent, strong, young women who are ready to go at it in terms of helping us out and getting the job done. I have full faith and trust in Miss Giselle Mahan out of Presidio Division that she will do everything possible to assist her members over at Presidio. You have a good, strong working crew right there. You have a chairperson that's been there for several years in the position, knows very well what he's doing. You have a vice chairperson that's ready, willing, and able to learn and teach. So thank you so very much, Giselle, for stepping up to the plate and doing your duty. Would you like to say a couple of words?
Thank you, and I'm just happy.
Awesome. Thank you so
Just
much,
happy and
Giselle.
can't wait to continue to help as I've always have done.
That's awesome. And, you know, you will definitely fit right in because of the fact that you have always been there helping out in the background, you know, sort of behind the curtains. Everybody knows you as the person that's always helped out with the signups, with the special events, with operator of the month awards, etc. So you've always been there, you know, doing little things here and there. So That's awesome. Thank you so much for stepping up and for helping out. So if you need anything, just feel free to reach out to any of the union representatives, and we'll do the best that we can to assist. Okay, Giselle?
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Robert.
You know, you guys, with that being stated, I want to let everybody know 2021 is going to be much, much different than 2020. You know, we have to look towards the positive. We have to look at the light at the end of the tunnel, and we have to do something bigger, something better. We have to do more in 2021 than we did in 2020. You know, so I'm really looking forward to working with everybody in terms of improving on all of the aspects, whether it's at your division level, whether it's in the rubber tire department, whether it's in the rail department, et cetera. And, you know, with that being stated, I'd like for just to make a general comment, just because I'd like to sort of bring everybody as close and as together as possible. And in order to do that, I want to say one quick comment. I'd like for everybody, this is just not just symbolic and metaphoric, but also literal in a sense, you know? We need to stop keeping up with the Kardashians and start keeping up with our families. We need to stop paying attention to Jersey Shore and start paying attention to the San Francisco Bay Area. We need to stop wasting our time with these things that are completely irrelevant to us, to our families, to our lives, to our livelihood, etc., and start paying attention to the real life situation, the politics, the government, the issues, the rules, laws, and policies that are affecting us on a daily basis, because a lot of things are going to be happening in 2021. Keep in mind also, next year, our contracts are going to be expiring. And if you don't think that the city and county of San Francisco is already preparing, gearing up, getting ready, then, you know, we have a rude awakening coming in front of us, you guys, because that is most definitely happening. Hence the reason why we are going to be putting together our contract committee in either March or April, the latest. We can start brainstorming and coming together with as many good, positive, feasible ideas and solutions to some of the problems that we have seen in 2021 and, excuse me, in 2020, and to address some of the problems with our contract. There's many things in our contract that we fix and address during the previous contract negotiations, but there are still many more that need to be addressed in the next round of negotiations, some of which I had never even thought about until some of you guys brought it to our attention. So if you would like to assist with that in terms of helping out, being on that committee, then, you know, just let us know, reach out, you guys, because it's going to be very, very interesting, especially given everything that's been happening with the state of emergency that we've been dealing with. So it's going to be very interesting and much more challenging in terms of negotiating this turnaround. So with that being stated, let me see. I wanted to ask if there are any of our chairpersons that would like to speak. I see Chairperson Coleman here. I'm going to ask him if he can unmute himself and say a couple of words, at least in regards to his new union representative over at Presidio Division. Chairperson Coleman, are you there? You have to unmute yourself. I don't know if Chairperson Coleman is there. All right, if he returns, then we will call on the chairperson. There's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about pertaining to just some updates from the transit fare inspectors. We'll ask the shop steward to chime in. Also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the PACT program, and I see that we actually have one of the PACT program volunteer coordinators, Arnold, on the line. And Arnold, would you be willing to say a couple of words to us in regards to PACT? Some of us don't know what PACT is, the actual acronym. Can you break it down for us, Arnold?
Sure. My name is Arnold Gray, out of Esaias Creek, rubber tire, and I'm considered an SME, which they call a subject matter expert. There's an outside organization that the city has contracted with to hold these PACT meetings. Everyone is supposed to go through them, and not only us as operators, but they've got transit fare inspectors supposedly, and management people going through. Um, there are about, I understand, about 20 of us operators and people in muni operators that are qualified as subject matter experts, and we rotate. And so you asked, what is it? It's practical. What is, I can't remember the name. Oh, it's practical communication tools for safety and service is what PACT stands for. It's an 8-hour course, 1 day. And I actually talked to Roger or via text today. There are people that have what I believe are misconceptions about what's going on between the city, about the management and our union and what we do. And I encourage them to come to our meetings and find out this isn't some cloak and dagger stuff organization. This is what these meetings are for. So I posted this link for the meeting tonight. So our brothers and sisters that have questions or issues, they can bring up the issues you just mentioned, that things came to mind that were brought up to you that you didn't know before, you hadn't considered. I'm encouraging people to do this. So whether you're have taken the PACT training or are planning to, or have nothing to do with that, if you have issues that you want to bring up, especially before we go into contract negotiations with the administrators, please join us with these meetings and make your voice heard. That's about it. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks for sharing that information with us, Arnold. I'd like to bring on board, let's see, Pete Wilson. But before we get to Pete Wilson, I do want to let everybody know, where the heck is this thing at? I did have it right here. All right, I just misplaced it. Anyways, we are having the 26th International TWU Convention. Okay, I misplaced it. I'm not sure where I put it. Sorry, guys. I was going to share it, but maybe Pete Wilson, if he has it, then maybe you can share it. If not, we will put it up on our website. We'll email it to you guys this coming weekend. It's pretty much the 26th annual TWU International Convention. It happens every 4 years, and I think there was one person on this call, Chairperson Ballister from Flynn Division. He attended 4 years ago. Chairperson Ballister, are you on the call? If you are, do me a favor and raise your hand so you can give everybody a brief synopsis about what the convention entails. Pete Wilson, do you see him around here? You see Chairperson Ballister from Flynn Division? Is he on?
No, I don't see him. But also, Roger, I don't have like a pretty flyer. The thing that we have is just words.
Yeah, that's all it was.
So then
give everybody
I'll share it if you want, but then it will just be okay. Hold on a second.
So it's pretty much the third week in September. It's a week-long convention, which is usually held in Las Vegas. And I believe that it's all expenses are paid for. We're going to look into all of that and get back to you guys with that information in the next week or two. And 4 years ago, what happened is there is an election for this convention, and there are a couple of people that are required to go. So in our bylaws, in our local bylaws, Article 10, it states the rules pertaining to who can go, how many people can go, etc. So that's in our local bylaws, Article 10. In our local bylaws, Article 10. So if you want to look that up, that'd be awesome. And also in the Constitution, under Article 11, it talks about the conventions. Now, I can't read it all because it's a couple of pages long, but please feel free to open up the book or go online and check it out. And if you have any questions or comments, just give us a call and we'll do everything that we can to answer the questions and your concerns. But to the best of my knowledge, from what I understand, is last time, 4 years ago, is a week-long convention, and this is the place where you do a couple of things. The 3 highlights are, number 1, you get to make motions if you would like to amend the Constitution. Number 2, you get to elect new you get to elect the leadership on the international level, and you can also run for those positions at the international level if you'd like. And number three, you get to do a lot of networking with other local leaders, labor unions, etc., throughout the United States of America. So, if you are interested in doing that and becoming more involved, then put your name on the ballot when the time comes in a couple of months, and we'll move forward accordingly. So, Pete, stop sharing your screen, please, and then we will take any questions on that if anybody has them a little bit
Just to let
later
you know,
on.
Okay, Pete.
everybody,
Roger, yeah, this is Anthony.
there
Oh,
he
there
is.
you go.
iPhone. He's
Yeah.
iPhone.
All right, go ahead. Share some
Yeah.
information with us, please, Chairperson Ballas.
Yeah, okay. So this convention is pretty great because you meet work our brothers and sisters from all over the country, and we do network. We talk with one another, even during the meeting during the day, and then we have general meetings, and then in the evening we have get-togethers, and it's really great because you hear stories about other unions, other locals, what they're going through, and we give one another advice. And it's really brother sisterhood that goes on. And when you do go there, if you're elected to go there, you'll be fortunate because you see that Local 250 is not alone. That we're not alone in this fight. As far as their livelihood and for rights to have fair wages and living for our children, for families, and for the future. And you see what everyone is going through, and it's a great experience for everyone to go. And of course, when they do elect new officers, with Local 100 being, Local 100 New York being over 44,000 strong, they pretty much win. But anyway, John Samuelson, he's a great leader. He speaks out loud. You hear him when he speaks. He's a fantastic person. And the whole state that's up there, they're 100% professionals. They're great people. And you're going to meet a lot of people there. So it's not just going to Vegas. Of course, I woke up a couple times with a hangover, but still I made meetings. But you do have a good time. And most important, like Roger said, that you're going to meet brothers and sisters from all over the country, and it's fantastic. You hear the stories, and then when you leave there, you feel that, hey, something, we're not alone. We're not on the island by ourselves. That we do have a whole world out there of transport worker union members that will support you if you need help. And they call us. They call on our local because we've done things that other locals haven't done. One thing that they ask us about a lot is restrooms. How the hell do we get restrooms all over the platform? We're lucky, and then we did a great job on that. And a lot of these unions, they look at us for inspiration. And yeah, me too. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, so yeah, and when the voting goes out, you're fortunate. There's only so many. I think one member per one a person for every 300 that be able to go. So I think we have 2,400. So we have six members going, and then Roger, of course, he's in already, automatically president. So anyone that does local is eligible to run as a delegate to go there. That's about it. And it's a fantastic time, man. When you go there and when you leave there, you say, "Wow, man, this is bigger than just what we go through over here." And what we go through, our members go through throughout the whole country. All right, that's it.
Wow, thank you very much for that
right.
brief synopsis, Chairperson Anthony Ballister from Flynn Division. So yeah, you guys, we're gonna email that letter out to you guys in the next week or two. And if you are interested, we encourage you to please get involved. And we're going to give you all of the details as soon as we get them all. But for now, just know that it is going to be the third week of September. It's a week-long convention. So if you are interested, then please let us know so that we can put your name on the ballot. And then it's going to be a system-wide election, I believe, at every single barn. And so I think it's whoever gets the most votes just attends. And I think that there's a limit in terms of the amount of members that we have. So I think for every 300 members, we are allowed one delegate to attend the convention. But like I stated earlier, all of that information is in the local bylaws. in our local bylaws under Article 10 and in the Constitution under Article 11. All right, you guys? So moving on to the next topic of discussion here. If there are any other chairpersons that would like to chime in, please just raise your hands and unmute yourself. I was looking
I
for a
think
chairperson.
Ramon is in the house and G is in the house as well from Kirkland, Ramon from Green. Just
Okay, if any of the chairpersons would like to say anything, please just raise your hand so we can acknowledge you and call on you. If not, we will go over to one of the shop stewards from the TFIs. Do we have a shop steward from the TFI department? Is either Kevin Smith or Edwin Rosales here? I saw one of them. Oh, there he is right there. Go ahead, Edwin, and unmute yourself, please. Give us some information about what's going on with the TFIs.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So last couple of weeks, we've been having some issues come up with TFIs and supervisors violating their wine garden rights. And it stems from either just not having any representation when there's questioning done, or there's a complete disregard for that process. That was with a group of a couple of TFIs, but that's been something that's been going on for quite some time, for many years in fact. And it's just been kind of swept under the rug, and it's been kind of kept quiet. And then most recently, about a week ago, for the evening shift, we were operating without vehicles because at the moment we're not boarding buses. We're not on revenue vehicles and riding them to destinations. So normally you would get a vehicle, but there have been issues with that as well. And so the teams were on foot, and there was a team at Van Ness and McAllister. It was around 7 o'clock at night, and without a vehicle and without a place to go, 702 at, they went to 1 South Van Ness. And when they were entering the building, there was a supervisor that was exiting the building, and she was asking them what they were doing there, why they were at the office, why they were trying to take a break or use the bathroom at the office. When it's obvious 7 o'clock at night, there's nowhere to go. You can't go anywhere because of the pandemic. As far as businesses, a lot of places won't let you in to use the restroom, even if you're paying for the service. And so it's been creating issues that there's clear violations of wine garden rights and in our MOU as well. And so these things are, unfortunately, they've been going on for too long, but it's getting to the point where we're now going to be addressing these issues and taking them in the right direction and taking appropriate measures to rectify these issues.
Indeed, please keep us abreast of what's going on pertaining to that, and we'll do the best that we can to assist. And also let your folks know, the TFI crew know, that you guys are going to have to give us a hand in the next couple of months in terms of putting together a contract committee specifically for the TFIs. Okay. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Do we have anybody from peer assistance here? Do we have Anthony Brown or Elliot Holmes, Miss Stephanie, that would like to give us an update, some information pertaining to peer assistance? No, we do not have any of them. Okay. Pete Wilson, you're up.
hey. Oh, well, thank you, Roger. So a couple things I want to make a request of you guys. And, I've heard Roger say to people many times, is like, I can't do it. It's not about me. It's about us as a union. Often I see posts on Facebook or people saying to me, hey, a supervisor did this to me. I don't care well, I do care, but if the supervisor did it, if you can say, okay, to the supervisor, and then, get their name down. Johnny, the supervisor, at 8 o'clock told me that I was running late and it's on a headway schedule, and you pass me on that information, I then can say this supervisor did this, a specific one. When we pass on information that, supervisors are doing this, they want to know specifically who. Okay, so that's my first request. Please, when somebody, if TMC tells you to do something that is unsafe, you say, thank you. You already know who I am. What is your name? And if they say they're not going to tell you your name, that's even better. Then you tell me the exact time, the date, and your line, and we make an exact a specific complaint. Michael Dennis is on tonight as well, Roger, and Michael and I were talking at the office about an hour and a half ago about this issue, about specific people, about how dispatchers have been not doing their job. Their job is to help 9163s. Plain and simple. Their job is to help 9163s. So when you go in and you need help, there's a specific dispatcher that would say, when I would go in, can I see the vacation book, please? Come back tomorrow. And I'm like, it's Saturday tomorrow. Come in Monday. Well, Monday, I'm sorry, is Memorial Day. I have it off. Come Tuesday. No, I want to see the book. Your job is to help. I just don't get it. So get the person's name and we can figure out what to do. Okay. Also, Roger, you don't know about this yet. I was just, we had a cable car operator come in. As you guys know, cable car operators are doing a lot of different things besides driving cable cars, like ambassador work. And so he came in to talk to me and to talk to Michael Dennis about his paycheck. And you know what they're doing, Roger, is they're changing the days that they're working, and they're supposed to be getting run pay. And so Gordon Miller and any other cable car operators out there right now, if I'm just saying Gordon because I can see his lovely face right there. Hey, Gordon. So this operator, for instance, has Thursday and Friday off. So what they did is they said, okay, you're going to come in on Monday through Friday. And they should have taken his Saturday and Sunday pay and put it on Thursday and Friday. I hope you guys understand where I'm going with this. But the 2 days, Thursday and Friday, that he normally would have had off, they're paying him 8 hours for each day instead of the pay that he would have had Saturday and Sunday. Because the run pay, you know, when you guys look at your run pay, it's the 10 days, right? So I haven't talked to Kevin Davis about this because we figured it out later in the evening. I'm going to bring it up with the board tomorrow. But it's this kind of stuff that we can't stand for. I hope that makes sense. That they shuffled the days, and then instead of giving them run pay, they're saying, well, you weren't working on Thursday before, so now you're only getting 8 hours. Okay. And Roger and I and Michael are here for you, but do the best that you can to take your stuff first to your chair, your vice chair, your secretary. That's what they're there for. I have somebody who's got a written warning out of a certain division, and he and his wife are calling me for all this help. If you get a written warning, if you get a, what else is there? Caution and reinstruct, an oral warning, please, please, please do what the contract says. You have 30 days, 30 days to put in a rebuttal. People want us to fight written warnings. The contract says we can't fight written warnings. We put in a rebuttal. Then if you ever get in real trouble and they pull up this thing that this caution and reinstruct, we have a proper rebuttal and you get to fight it then. Okay. Hope that makes sense. G from Kirkland gave me a copy of what he had made for Kirkland, which was a form, because some people will say, well, I didn't need a form or what? No, you don't. You can write it on a napkin and turn it in as far as I'm concerned. But I took the form. Roger, I want to get that up onto our website one of these days. And it looks like Luke Jones is coming in right now, the chairperson from Escalante Creek. But I'm going to get that up online and I'll get it to the chair people. Everybody, please, 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 caution and reinstructs, written warnings. We need to put in rebuttals. Thank you, Roger.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you for that. I see that Chairperson Luke Jones just joined us, and that just reminded me, I want everybody to know that Chairperson Jones volunteered to help out in terms of making the guidelines pertaining to the Operator of the Month awards. So I guess in the past, there were no guidelines, or the guidelines were sort of wishy-washy all over the place, but Luke Jones has volunteered to assist with creating a set rule or timetable for the guidelines pertaining to Operator of the Month. So thanks for helping out with that, Chairperson Jones. I don't know if later on he would like to say something pertaining to that or anything else. Okay, let me see. Next up, we have David Pilpel, Public Transportation Advocate and Transit Operator Assistant. Go ahead, David Pilpel, please.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
That's
Hope you
right.
can all hear me.
We can hear you.
So happy to hear what's going on with all of you. A couple of quick updates as a advocate and friend of the union. I am more optimistic now than I have been in the last few weeks about the budget at the crazy MTA. Not only did they get the the first batch of the second federal stimulus or handout money, but there's more coming. And so it looks like the MTA budget is probably okay for the rest of this fiscal year through the end of June, and will likely not have any layoffs or any other negative effects on employees or public service. They're also very hopeful now that the next round of federal funds that Biden and friends are talking about will likely have another huge chunk for transit around the country, and will probably continue to bail out MTA for the 21-22 and possibly even the 22-23 fiscal years. So despite the questionable management decisions and poor fiscal choices that they make on a daily or hourly basis, it looks like we're all going to be okay for the moment. That's the good news. One other bit of political good news: the Board of Supervisors a couple of weeks ago unanimously passed a resolution urging the MTA and the MTA board to restore service on all of the other lines that have not been operating for almost a year now, and asked them to report back in, I think it's 60 days, about a timeline and a plan to restart those lines. Jeff and Julie have said, oh, we've got all these problems, we can't, we this, we that, look, something else is going on, but they will have to respond at some point, and that is definitely an issue in the budget process. Then let me just end quickly. At the MTA board meeting yesterday, there was a presentation about current service and their plans to restart more service in the tunnel on the rail side. There are questions about why they're doing what they're doing and when they plan to do it in May and how and all of that. But most interestingly, there were a number of comments about cable cars. And so they seem to be getting a lot of pressure from all over the place to restart cable car service sooner rather than later. They've come up with more excuses about how they would need to re-engineer cable cars, and because cable cars are a brand new technology, you see, they haven't been around very long. Never mind. And they're the most open air of all of our vehicles. Come on, this is not a crazy thing. Anyway, so they're under pressure to get going with the cable car service as relates to tourism and travel for residents and everybody. So we'll see what happens with that. And just finally, there are two new members of the MTA board. They now have a full MTA board of 7 members, which they haven't had in a couple of years. And these two newest members, one is a disabled woman who's very thoughtful, and the other is a small business owner in the Mission. And the small business owner, the guy that owns Manny's at 16th and Valencia, he's been particularly hard on management and has not been taking what they say and just rubber stamping it. Asked a lot of questions, voted no on a couple of things, which is unusual for members of the MTA board. And in particular, yesterday, on something not directly related to Muni, but within MTA, they were extending the contract for the towing operator, Auto Return, which is pretty routine, another 2-year contract extension. And he gave him hell about that. He said, well, why are we charging so much? And it's really hard on people, whether they're low income or moderate income, $800 to get your car if it gets towed, blah, blah, blah. And they ultimately approved it over his objection, but he really did put him through the ringer. And I think on transit issues and a number of other things, he's going to be a very smart and interesting guy that's going to try to hold management accountable. So I'm very excited and optimistic about that. That's what I have. If you have any questions or comments, ask me, ask Roger. Happy to help and support. You guys do the work 24/7, and I appreciate you all very much. Keep it
Thank
up.
you
Thank
very
you.
much for that update, David Pilpel. You guys, this is what I mean, and this is exactly what I'm talking about when I stated earlier at the very beginning of our meeting just now, when I said, stop keeping up with the Kardashians and start keeping up with your family. You know, stop paying attention to Jersey Shore, what's going on down there. Start paying attention to San Francisco, the politics, the government, the rules, the policies, et cetera, that are occurring here on a daily basis, because these are the things that are going to be affecting us literally on a daily basis, financially, domestically, economically, et cetera. So please pay attention to the things that matter in life. Next, I wanted to just reiterate what Pete Wilson had stated about your pay. You guys, the agency is very sneaky. You guys know that just simply by being here year after year, decade after decade. And Pete Wilson just gave you a very simple, clear-cut scenario about what they're doing specifically to the cable car operators. And this might be happening to other folks as well. So you have to scrutinize your paychecks. You have to open up your pay stubs and look to see if you are being paid properly. One of the weirdest things that I still can't understand is how a person that has a run is not being paid or has different paychecks every 2 weeks, even though he or she does not do anything different pertaining to overtime or filling out accident reports, etc. Nothing changes in his or her paycheck on a daily basis, yet his or her paychecks are different every 2 weeks. So please scrutinize your paychecks. Next month in March, we are going to be putting together, like I had mentioned to you guys a couple of weeks ago, the paycheck committee, which Michael Dennison is going to be assisting with. So I don't know if Michael Dennis is on the call, if he would like to say anything pertaining to that or anything else. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Michael Dennis. You're on mute, Michael Dennis.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna start having the paycheck committee, which is gonna be a little bit different than a typical committee. It's more like it'll be more like a training as to how to decipher your check stub. We actually had, I'm starting with very small groups because I'm still kind of putting the program together. Me and Pete actually had a meeting with, as he mentioned earlier, a cable car operator, and that's exactly what we did. We broke down his paycheck. All you need is your check stub and trapeze. And we just break down every single category, and I can show people how to do that. And that's the whole idea, is we're going to teach people how to do that so that every time you get a paycheck, you can do exactly what I did as an operator. I just sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and break it all down and make sure that you're getting paid. And you can catch those, those things that they miss on, whether it's lunch pay. There's a big problem with lunch pays, or whether they're shorting you on hours. It brings to light, when you look at it in front of your, on paper like that, it really brings to light the kinds of things that they're doing that Pete was talking about, whereas they took away his Saturday, Sunday and gave this operator Thursday, Friday, 8 hours. This particular operator had almost 10-hour days on Saturday and Sunday. So he wasn't getting anything close to what his run pay should have been. And so, once you understand your paycheck stub, it just really brings to light, those things just jump off the page. So we're going to be starting with small groups. And in fact, we've already had our initial group, and we'll be building on that. And a number of people have expressed interest, so we'll be inviting small groups very shortly. And then whoever wants to come and learn how to decipher your check stub, and that's the best way to keep them honest down at payroll, is they need to know that it's just more work for them to even try to short us, that because we're going to catch it and require them to fix it. It's twice as much work to fix it than it is to just get it right in the first place if we're catching it. The problem is, for so long they've just been doing whatever they want. we don't catch it, and it's easier and faster for them just to be sloppy and not pay attention. So we're trying to reverse that, that climate, so to speak, and to keep them on their toes for everything that they do concerning our check stubs, our checks, our pay.
Indeed, perfect. Thank you for that, you guys. And remember, this message is for all the operators. If you've been here, 1 year, 10 years, 30 years, and you've never scrutinized your paycheck, well, you know what? It's not too late. As long as you're here and you're ready, willing, and able, Michael Dennis will teach everybody his method of how he used to scrutinize his paychecks. And the interesting thing is, every time that a new operator would share his or her paycheck with Michael Dennis, he would always find a problem in every single operator's paycheck. Like he stated, whether if it was dealing with overtime, lunch pay, any one of the premiums, whatever the case may be, he always found a problem in almost every single paycheck that he looked at for all the operators. The problem is there's only one Michael Dennis, and he cannot do 2,000 operators. That's just not possible. Hence the reason why we are going to be establishing this paycheck committee. And if you are interested in learning how to scrutinize your pay, your money, your paychecks, your pay stubs, etc., then please join us and learn how to decipher these dozens and dozens of codes that are in your paychecks. Is it boring? Yes, it's boring. Is it fun? No, it's not fun. Is it your money? Yeah, it's your money. So if you're that interested in it, then please join the committee when we establish it next month, okay? And we will let you guys know. All right. That is all of the updates that I had. I'd like to open it up, just for any other questions or comments from any of our chairpersons, any executive board members, any of our union representatives. I don't know if we have Chairperson Coleman on the line still, if he wanted to say anything pertaining to his new union secretary over at Presidio, or if we have any other union representative that would like to say something or share anything. If not, are there any questions, comments, concerns, inquiries from any of our members on the call today? Any issues that you would like to bring up? Any solutions that you would like to see come forth? I don't see anybody with any questions or any hands raised. Wow, this might be okay, here we go. It says iPhone. So go ahead, whoever iPhone is, you have to, oh, that's Eon. Go ahead, Eon, you have to unmute yourself.
What's up, everybody? I would just like to challenge the union and our members to, is there anything we could do to get the city SFMTA to stop ticketing operators? I haven't received a parking ticket from going to work as an essential worker, trying to carry the city around. We're the lifeline of the city. We moving the city around, but I often see posts on Transit Talk, and I've seen cars ticketed at different divisions, not so much my own, but it's like, is there anything we can do? And I challenge the other operators and the union to come up with some kind of solution. I came up with these just for my own vehicle. I know we use the yellow vest, but I kind of came up with this, thought it was kind of creative. It basically just says that I'm an essential worker, and this is an essential worker vehicle. It has the official SFMTA logo. It says, let's work together, SF strong, and transit worker. These are some hashtags. I'm just trying to play on the pity of those DPT workers that ticket us. And so, like, is there anything we can do? And if there is, I would like to see that become a reality.
So, Brother Eon, I guess I will respond to that by saying this. The solution that I have heard, or the remedy or the Band-Aid that I have heard time and time again from many other operators and many different other organizations and labor leaders and unions, etc., is that I think the mechanics and or the machinists or other unions have quote, it parking, it established into their contract somehow. So what we could do in terms of finding a quasi-permanent solution for that is to somehow establish that part of it, parking, directly into our contract and tell the SFMTA to back off, you know? So I think that that right there might be a feasible solution. We will have to look into the other contracts that the other unions have because I'd want to compare their language to see, you know, how we can mimic or mirror that language so we can have it added into ours because you're right, there's a lot of problems going on with that and it's extremely discouraging. You know, you come to work to make $300 and then you get a $120 ticket. So that just screws up your entire week or month. So I completely get it. So that's one of the things that I say I would like to offer in terms of a possible feasible solution.
Absolutely. And if I may add, like just like every year at the beginning of the year in January, we get the little sticker that says 2021, 2022 that we stick on our badge. They could give us a little sticker that goes somewhere near like the VIN number in the window. That way it's like they can allocate one to each person. That way they can keep control of it. So that's just my thoughts on it. Just something rough.
Copy that. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from Jim. Jim has to, you have to unmute yourself, Jim.
Hey, Roger, thank you for calling on me. Now that the president has put masks on public transportation, everybody has to wear one, right? Is there any type of enforcement that's going to be done? Because every now and then I'll see somebody get on. I'll catch them like at the last minute without a mask, or like if they're coming off the bus, they won't have a mask on. Is there anything that's going to be done in regards to that?
I would like to defer that question back to probably our transit fare inspector, shop steward, or any other operator that would like to chime in on that. But in terms of enforcement, to the best of my knowledge, we operators are not allowed to enforce very much upon the passengers. Our best, I guess, tool or weapon in our arsenal is calling TMC and asking them for assistance. And if TMC says, okay, you know, pull your coach over, tie it up, and, you know, we'll send you assistance for that particular person or people who are not being mask compliant, then that's your safest bet in terms of dealing with those types of passengers. Because if you if you physically throw off somebody from the bus, you know, because they're not mask compliant, you're probably going to get in a lot of trouble. So please don't do that. And like I said, I'd like to see if anybody else on the call has any other inquiries or suggestions pertaining to that. Anybody else would like to chime in on that particular question or inquiry? So Jim, I guess that's what I would say pertaining to that. I don't know if that answers it completely, but that's what I would have to say. And I see Edwin Rosales also would like to chime in. So let's hear, Jim. What's on your mind, Jim? You got to unmute yourself. You're on mute, Jim.
My bad, Roger. Yeah, so it's all good. I'm just like, you know, okay, you know, there's I don't say nothing. The most that I'll get on the microphone and just, you know, please put your mask on or whatever. But, you know, I'm just wondering if there was anything that was just going to be put in place in regards to that. That was about it. But thank you.
Thanks, brother. Let's hear from Chairperson Anthony Ballister from Flynn Division. Go ahead, Chairperson Anthony.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, I've seen videos and operators being assaulted when they keep on requesting that a passenger would put on a mask and the operator won't move the coach. So what happens is that the passenger without the mask will walk up towards the operator, maybe throw liquid at them, spit on them. We just let them know once and then contact TMC. Just announce it once. Because now if you allow the passenger to continue riding the coach without a mask, you're gonna have other patrons call 311 and, you know, say, hey, the operator allowed the person to ride a coach without a mask. And then what the protocol is that just announce it once. If they don't comply, contact TMC and let TMC tell you what to do. Continue service, pull over coach, and then so you have a record. And then so in case another passenger calls in, you say, yeah, I contacted TMC. So that's what you're supposed to do. Some just announce it once. Don't keep bugging the patron because they get angry. And then the operators do get assaulted. I've seen videos. And just once, and then call TMC and let them tell you what to do. But go ahead and keep the coach's service because you don't want to hold the coach. If you hold the coach, and the person that you asked to put the mask on, is going to retaliate. So you got to think of yourselves and think of your passengers also. Right away, call TMC.
Copy that. Thank you for that information, Chairperson Anthony Balser from Flint. Let's go to, let's see, George Kuza. Let me see, George Kuza. You have to unmute yourself, George Kuza.
Hi, good evening.
How you doing, George?
Good. I'm doing okay. I just wanted to chime in regarding that because I was assaulted just in December because I requested for somebody to have put their mask on because they were spitting everywhere on the bus. They refused to wear a mask, so I pulled over into a bus zone and asked them to please exit the bus. And at that point, they got irate and pulled out. They had quite a large knife, and they were trying to hurt, people. So I would just suggest I called TMC immediately. Sheriffs came, everybody. They arrested him, but the problem is the way San Francisco works, and even the sheriffs told me, all they do is observe them and then release them. So it's a catch and release system in San Francisco. So it kind of puts us all in danger because being in the situation where that person catches that particular line every day and they're just waiting, and if they see you again, the person who had them arrested because they were trying to assault you, now you're in even bigger danger. So I just think that something really has to be done about this. I mean, literally has to. And the days of us just being assaulted and nothing happening has to stop. It just really has to stop. And I guess at this point, honestly, like something has to be done where if they want to talk about our safety and everything, then make sure that we are really safe. Our driver compartment is safe and that motor coach does not leave the yard if it's not a safe motor coach for us drivers. Just that little window that we have right there, they could reach in, they could spit on you, they could throw things on you. And other agencies and have full enclosure where you're protected. You're not going to be protected from a gun because it's not bulletproof, but at least you're protected from somebody with a knife, somebody who's spitting at you or trying to sucker punch you. And we need either all the vehicles to either be, they preach all day, safety first, safety first, safety first, but they always show time after time, it's only about money. It's only about their money. Because if it really was about safety, no motor coach would leave any of those yards without having the full protection for the operator for their safety.
Wow. I had no idea about that. Thank you for sharing that, George Kuza, and I'm sorry that happened to you, brother. Are you taking some time off or are you back at work?
No, I've been off since December.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm sorry to hear about that, George. I had no idea. I'll reach out to you soon, all right?
Thank you.
Edwin Rosales. Let's hear from Edwin. We can hear you, Edwin.
Okay.
Edwin, are you there? We cannot hear you, Edwin.
Can you hear me?
All right, I think you got low, you got a bad connection there. We'll come back to you, all right, Edwin?
All right.
Let's hear from Ray Kwong. We can hear you, Ray.
Hey, what's up, Roger? What's up, Pete? And what's up, Michael? Right now I am going like FLMA right now. I just went back to went back to MME to get my parking permit, at MME. So a lot of our brother and sister, they asked me, hey, Ray Kwong, what's wrong with Green? We have no permit, parking permit at Green Division. So I'm wondering, can you and Pete and Michael update anything about the parking lot at Green Division? Back to Green.
So we were just talking about that a couple of minutes ago pertaining to Eon's question in regards to what we can do about the parking. And one of the things that we talked about, Ray, was being able to try to establish some type of language in our contract, just like I think it's the mechanics that have that particular language that protects them and assures that they have parking spaces at their at the work locations. So that's how we're going to move forward with that. At the moment, I'm not sure what it is that we could do. You have any suggestions, Ray?
Look, Roger, at Green, on Balboa and Geneva, when I work at night shift, by the time, we can't go home, between like 2 a.m. or like 1 a.m., there's no bar, going back to East Bay. We have a lot of brothers and sisters who live in East Bay. My concern is, if no parking for Green at Green, if this is real tough. I mean, I don't want to come to work, if I can't go home. I don't want to stay overnight at Balboa, there's no such thing. So a lot of them make sure, like, remember I talked to you before, right? We cannot give up the parking at Green. It's real tough. Morning shift and the late out shift, we need parking.
I agree.
Roger,
Yes, go ahead, Pete.
Because Ray, Jeffrey Tumlin, Roger, didn't he say like last week or 3 weeks ago, so that they rented a parking lot? I mean, I think it's crazy, Ray, that they gave the parking across the street from you guys to homeless people, whereas they could have given homeless people a parking lot far away from you. But what he said was that you guys had parking at City College, and that hardly anybody was using it, is what he claimed. And if that's not true, Ray, I think Ramon's on the call tonight. I don't know if he has anything to say about it, but I haven't been out there lately to see how many people are parking there. But you bring up a good point, and maybe City College should give the SFMTA a discount, because I'm in a labor class right now at City College, and it's all online. So it's not like City College has parking issues right now, right? And it's pretty close to the yard. So I don't know. Do you have anything to say about parking out at Green? They do say, Roger, parking this, that, and they don't want us, and the people of the city don't want us to park or to drive.
Because
but the thing is, right now, like Ray is saying, BART stops at 9 o'clock. So it's not an option. So what do they want us to do? So I think I agree with you, Ray. I think we should bring this up again with Jeffrey and just say, Jeffrey, what do you want us to do? Because what I suggested in the past was that they start running some of these buses at the end of the day to Antioch and to Pleasanton and to wherever our members, Vallejo, wherever our members are living, and run shuttles late into the evening so people can get home. And maybe you could park at, I don't know, Walmart parking lot, and they can go there and you can get in your car or whatever, and you wouldn't have to pay bridge toll or whatever. I don't know. Somehow we can make something better than we have right now. But when they say you should take BART, it's tough enough that BART closes at 1 o'clock for some people, but right now it's closing at 9 o'clock. So I think it's a great point, Ray. I think we should bring it up with Jeffrey again, Roger.
Definitely will. We'll get back to you on that, Ray.
Because this is, because to me, when I see it, I start from Flint, I start from Kirtland, because soon as I start at Flint, we have a parking record, Scott's parking at Flint. So now I heard they try to take the parking away from Flint Division 2. And when I start at Green, we have, Green, we still have some parking for us, like a few, not a lot, few parking. Right now, they take everything back from Green. So my question is, MME, they even provide little parking for us. But, for my question is, we have to fight back. We need the parking lot back at Green, because trust me, if no parking for us, Green Division will be shut down, early or late. That's all they can do because we can't go to work. There's no time to sit. There's no bark to your service that early or that late. In the Bay Area.
Copy that. Appreciate that.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you, Ray.
All right.
Let's hear from Giselle Mahan and then Camilla Taylor. Go ahead, Giselle. You have to unmute yourself.
Trying to. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, I reached out to Juan Coleman. He was exhausted. He had to tend to his mom, so he sends his apologies for not popping back on.
Oh, no worries. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's hear from Ms. Camilla Taylor. Go ahead, Camilla.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I wanted to backtrack and speak about the mask issue. I drive the 9R, so on my route, a lot of people get on board without the mask. I do not engage them at all. I simply call TMC. And with that being said, maybe the union can press for MTA to add a mask violation button on the radio. So we don't have to engage with them at all. And they can know, and PD or whoever can meet us en route.
You mean like the automatic message that on the PA system that says stand behind the close, stand back, the doors are closing. Like that?
No, I'm talking about if you want to take a 702, you just say operator and you press a few buttons. Maybe we can have a mask violation button on there too.
Got it. Okay, got it.
I don't know if they'll be able to add that, but that's just an idea.
Okay, let's hear back from Eon, since that was, I think, his topic of discussion, I believe. Go ahead, Eon.
Oh no, it wasn't my topic, but I just think that that's a good idea that Ms. Taylor just put out there for sure, because what it does is it keeps you off of the phone. You don't have to really stop driving. You could just hit that button and they'll know without like engaging. So that way you won't be letting the passengers know, because believe me, I've almost been assaulted just recently again over telling people my bus was too full. People do not want to be told to put their mask on. So this is a problem. So I like her idea. I think that's a great idea. Just wanted to say that.
Excellent. Let's see if we can get back. Oh, we have Jay James. Let's get to Jay James and then we'll get to the shop steward from the TFIs. So Jay James, you have to unmute yourself.
Hey, good evening. I missed most of the call, unfortunately, but I'm calling. I'm a single father. My son at school is still closed because of COVID. I've been called in for a conference because of my attendance, because I have to take off on the days that I do have my son. And so I'm trying to see if there's anything we can do to get some type of protection for us parents who are faced with this issue.
I will defer that question back to our Vice President, Pete Wilson, since he's the one that handles and deals with the majority of the grievances, step twos, arbitrations, et cetera.
I'm sorry, his question was kind of muffled. I didn't understand what he said. I'm sorry.
Is there some type of protection that we can get because a lot of our children's schools are still closed? And so I had to take off a few days a week because my son's school is closed. And so is there some type of protection that we can get to protect us as operators? Because I've been called in for a meeting for attendance because of my son's school closure.
So please, okay, so please speak to your chairperson and what, and Roger and I have spoken to people, but like Brent Jones, he's pretty high up. I said this to him last week. My complaint is that what Brent thinks is happening is 2 or 3 people down from him, which would be the managers or the assistant managers. They're bringing people in. Brent said this last week. Remember, Roger? He's like, "How do we know if they're having an issue?" So if you go in, feel free to say, "Thank you for checking on me. I'm okay. There's COVID right." Everybody, this is for everybody. There's COVID right now. I've been instructed to take care of my family. I've been instructed to stay home. Thank you for paying me for this extra 15 minutes. I really could use the $9. Can I go back to work? And do not sign anything. So there is a website for the city about COVID that does talk about different FMLAs and different protections that you can get if you take care of my kids. I am lucky. My wife is at home and my kids are 12 and 15. So they're old enough now. And I understand that's not the situation for everybody. But your chairperson should be able to answer these types of questions. I can send out an email, Roger, we can work on a group email, maybe to send out Friday or Monday to remind people all the services out there. But seriously, whilst it doesn't seem like it to you, it actually seems like it to them. They should be treating you with dignity and honor when they are checking in, as far as they're concerned, to make sure that you're okay. That's what Brent said. They are of course, we're just like a company trying to make sure our employees are okay. And I said, Brent, I said, I had issues with gout. I know that I had gout and I didn't need anybody to, well, we're just checking in with you. I played soccer with my kids. I ripped my quad. I don't need you to check in on me. I'm an adult, but that's what they wanted to do. Now, we have asked them to relax their standards that came from the city and county of San Francisco. It's not, according to them, it's not the SFMTA. It's coming from the city and county of San Francisco. So just continue to say thank you and don't sign anything. That's all we can say. They can't suspend you if you don't sign anything. Talk to your chairperson about it. I don't know. On the other extreme, I have met people who have missed, how many working days are there a year? 260 working days? I met a guy who's missed 110 working days. And I don't mean he's been out for 5 months straight. I mean, came to work for 2 days, then came back 10 days later, worked 6 days, then was gone for 4 days. And, that type of person maybe had an issue that they needed to speak to. You have a specific thing. A lot of us do. It's COVID. We've got kids. We've got this. We've got that. Unfortunately, what I have heard is they have the rights to bring us in and pay us. And in the rule book 2.8.1 says they must treat you with dignity. And if your manager is not treating with dignity or not informing you of things that are useful, feel free to email me at pwilson, P as in Pete, Wilson at twsf.org. And if you can say some specific things that they said were demeaning or whatever, pass that on to me. I will pass that on to their manager, because as Edwin Rosales was mentioning before, we have issues with the TFIs with their supervisors, and their supervisors for the POP are going to get retrained. And it's a good chance that management is not doing a good job of teaching their managers how to educate people on health issues.
Copy that. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Pete Wilson, do me a favor and put your email address in the chat there, please. And let's hear from Brother Mohammed Warsi. So you have to unmute yourself, Mohammed.
Hi, Roger. This is
Hello.
Mohammed Warsi. I mostly work at the Green Division and also at the MME. But I'm going back to about with the what you call the Ray. He has a problem with the parking. What happened to parking in the garage? It was provided to us at the Green Division. And also we used to park in the LRV yard at the Green. And also we was going to park in the PCC yard. So what happened to all that parking? Do they take it away?
So what we were talking about earlier, Mohammed, was that we are going to establish some type of wording in the contract to protect parking for green operators in the same manner that mechanics have parking protected for them at those barns, at all the barns, actually. So that's what we're going to work on.
But right now, the Ray said he has no parking. He doesn't want to go to work. So what is the problem? I mean, there's a garage, as I know. It's been a while I didn't go there. But I know when I used to go to Green to pull out from there, then there's a parking in the garage. The first come, first serve.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. It is first come, first serve. And even then, according to the contract, from what I understand from the mechanics, they have priority parking because I think it's established in their contract. But like I said, we're going to look into that.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of it. That's why I asked question. Thank you for explaining.
Thanks, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from Rashawn's iPhone.
Hello, Roger. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Rashawn.
Okay. Hi, Roger. I'm just concerned with I'm listening, and we have all these issues with pay. We also have issue with I'm feeling like SFMTA is the MOU has been scratched. They are violating our seniority. Every move that they make, that they as a DSW, you're a DSW worker, and they use that to say they could do just about anything. They take in night people who have night runs when that's all you do is night, and they transition them over to the vaccine sites. So and they just call you up and say, this is where you're gonna be. Well, we are still in a pandemic. This is different for everybody. And they just like show no compassion for the operator. They're calling operators in. They haven't, let's see, with the pay. And so here's an example. They actually, so the vaccine site at City College was closed Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So if you work Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, they furloughed you. Now, why would they furlough if you have a run? Why would they not pay you your run pay? So if you wanted run pay, you had to supplement it with your time. So they're doing all of these different things, and they say it is based on what is it? It's a pandemic, the COVID.
And see,
they
that's
use it
and
for
that's not
themselves.
and that's not right. That's not right, Rashawn. It's actually a violation, like you stated. And unfortunately, you are only the second person that brought this to my attention. The first person was indeed a cable car operator yesterday when he brought this issue to my attention. And now you're the second person that brought this to my attention. So I'm actually going to be having a meeting with DHR tomorrow to bring up this issue. But prior to yesterday, I had no idea because nobody reached out to me. And you're unfortunately barely the second person that reached out to me pertaining to that. And thank you for reaching out, but I wish and I hope that others would reach out sooner rather than later when these situations do happen, because that is a serious violation. It is your money. It is your run pay. You are entitled to it regardless of, what ends up happening. So you're absolutely right. And I'm going to look into that tomorrow and I'll get back to you on that, Rashawn, with a response. Okay.
Right. And if I may say, even with that's one example, but like the parking, it's a pandemic. I mean, we're all quote in this together, and they're still using their rules. They still going by their rules. They still have sick abuse. They still, and they're not thinking, well, no kid is in school. It just seemed like no hazard pay. Operators aren't getting hazard pay. And it's just ridiculous. And I just think they're just using this time to say, this is how it's been running in this way, and we can run it this way efficiently from here on out. That's just how I feel about it. And it just seems like someone needs to go in there and stop them and say, listen, you have some rules that you still have to abide by, even though we're in a pandemic, even though it's COVID, even though they're disaster workers. You have to have some boundaries. Thank you.
I agree. Thank you for that, Rashawn. Okay, let's hear from Arnold Gray. You have to unmute yourself, Arnold Gray.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Excuse me. As you know, I'm sure you know about this Intellex, where they're transitioning from paper incident reports to electronic. And if you don't know, this is something they've had us all going and learning how to do this. And what it requires is us to have an SFMTA as operators. All of us, they're rolling out to have us all have email addresses. Well, that's fine. They've had us on company time, come and learn how to do this. Well, recently they told me you've got to change a password. I changed it, but somehow it wasn't working. I'm using the word harass me about it. They wanted me to fix it. Well, I can't fix it by myself. Okay, cutting to the chase. I pulled in to the yard after finishing my run recently, last week, and a guy met me there and said, "Come on upstairs. I'm going to help you fix this." But I was not being paid for this. They didn't get me this is a company, this is Muni business. I feel I should be getting paid by Muni to conduct Muni business. And they want to assign me this stuff, well then pay me for it. There was no mail I got on this day. You need to show up and we're going to help you get your email address together. As it turned out, they gave me 2 addresses and one was blocking the other. It was their fault that I wasn't able to log on. And I just would hate to see a lot of other people where they get away with having us stay after our runs and kind of this ambush to do company work on free time, on my free time. So do you know anything about this or what our rights are with that or what I can do about it?
Yes, I do. So in the contract right here, okay, Article 14, Section 14.5, it says work time. And it says under number 3, it says work time is considered when there is time spent by an operator when requested by a duly authorized railway representative to act as a witness to perform similar duties in the interest of the SFMTA. It goes down a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different categories, and yours falls in there under number 8, where it says time spent in performing other duties at the request of a duly authorized SFMTA representative. So what you need to do, Arnold, is I would recommend filling out a, what do you call that? An overtime slip, an OT slip.
Overtime slip.
Keeping a copy of it for yourself and make sure that you cite this right here, Article 14, Section 14.5, number 8. Article 14, Section 14.5, number 8, where it says time spent in performing other duties at the request of a duly authorized SFMTA representative. Now, that's what I would recommend, and keep a record of who you speak to, especially if that dispatcher refuses to acknowledge this pay. And I don't know if Michael Dennis is still on the line, if he would want to say something pertaining to your particular situation. I don't know if Michael Dennis is still on the line. If he is, I will ask him as well, but I don't see Michael Dennis. Michael Dennis, if you're here, he is?
Got his hand up.
He does. Let me see. Oh, there he is right there. Yes. Go ahead, Michael Dennis. Would you like
Yeah,
to respond to
I want to second what Roger said. Absolutely. I think that you should put in an overtime slip for that. If somebody approached you and said, come with me and I'm going to help you, definitely put in an overtime slip for that. And I also wanted to add, when it does come, I'm seeing some comments. I hadn't been involved in the chat, but I'm seeing a couple questions on people having trouble with their getting a W-2. I would say see the secretary there at the bus yard, and the dispatchers are also supposed to help us. We're being told by the upper levels of management that they do not want to get calls down at payroll. Each bus yard has their own payroll officer, and as an operator, I used to frequently call mine, and many people call the payroll to get their issue straightened out. We're being told by Demetrius, the dispatcher's boss, that the place to go to for issues, if we're missing a lunch, if we don't see our overtime there, if there's something wrong with our check, is the dispatcher. And we've gotten accustomed to the dispatchers kind of blow us off and say, well, call payroll or whatever. But that's them not doing their job. Our go-to point is supposed to be the dispatchers. And this is what we're being told from the management. We've talked about this at the executive board meeting. I told the chair people that this is what we're hearing. So we're trying to change the environment where you can bring your issues into the office, talk to the secretary. If you're looking for your W-2, talk to the dispatcher. And if they try to tell you, oh, I can't help you, you have to call payroll. Please see your chair or call me, because I will report this to Dimitri as the dispatcher's supervisor. We are being told that that's what the dispatchers are there for, to help us. And for too long, we've let them get away with, acting like they just blow us off and that they are not our helpers. They are the support system. As Pete said earlier, their job is there to help us, not to just give us instructions and tell us what to do and reprimand us. They are our support network, and they're supposed to help us. If you go in there because you're looking for your W-2, if you're going there because you have a paycheck issue, or like Pete looking for the Florian holiday book, they're supposed to stop what they're doing and help you. They do have things to do, but they're there to help us and to not say, come back on Monday. So I just did want to add that we are trying to change that whole environment around our relationship with the dispatchers. And that is coming from the upper levels of management, that is the expectation, that's what they're there for.
Thank you, Michael. And let me third that, you guys, because here's the thing. If this person, this dispatcher told you you're not going to get paid for that, that's when Michael or Roger or I need that person's name. Now, Michael, I don't know, maybe you can tell me what you think, but I don't know that's the dispatcher's job to say, make sure you turn in an overtime card. There are some dispatchers that I know who would say that, but there's some that I know that wouldn't. But if somebody tells you to do something and refuses to give you accept that, we need to know, we need to stop. One of our issues with management is we complain about people and yet they don't do anything. They'll like fix it, but that supervisor doesn't get in trouble. But if you do something wrong, it's a written warning, it's a suspension. So please, 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 how many times do we say, please, por favor, s'il vous plaît, let us know who's messing with you, okay? Names and times. Thank you,
Yes,
Michael.
we want names, we want times, and it will be reported. The dispatchers are supposed to help us. That's the support staff. We're the ones providing the service, and they are our support network. I liked what Pete said last month at the meeting. We need to start answering the TMC calls on the radio. Hello, this is operator 2957. How can you help me? Not what can I do for you? I would like to get that going. How can you help me? We need to change the whole attitude. We are the service providers, and they are there to help us do it and to support us, not just reprimand us and write us up and suspend us. They are supposed to be our helpers. And that needs to be our expectation. Thank you.
Indeed. Arnold, anything else pertaining to that? Arnold, where'd you go? Oh, there you go, right there. You gotta unmute yourself, Arnold.
There we go. Yeah, I'm clear with that. Thank you so much. I will follow up with that and see where it goes.
Copy that.
Get back to you.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. I've got to go now.
Copy that.
Get to bed.
Thank you. All right, let's hear from Omar Miller. Go ahead, Omar Miller. You got to unmute yourself, Omar Miller.
Quick question, Roger.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. For DSW, I'm an ambassador of the cable car. Silvio Alvarez called me saying I would be deployed to Bayview vaccination site from 7:30 to 4:30. Now, with that being said, I have a son that goes to school. So how I'll be there at 7:30, and I take my son to school, also pick him up from school. That's why I work the 4 to 11 shift. They told me that they can't do nothing about it. Talk to Mayor Breeze. She's behind it.
Wow. All right. Okay, so let me write this down. So you were deployed. Okay, you were deployed at what time?
From 7:30 to 4:30 at Bayview.
7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
But you need what?
But I told her I gotta take my son to school to pick him up.
Okay.
So I worked the 411. I worked the 411 shift doing Ambassador on Powell Street. They on some either you can pick between the job or your family. They don't care about taking your son. They say they don't care about none of that.
Give me your cap ID number, Omar.
4396.
All right, we'll look into this and we'll get back to you on we'll get back to you tomorrow, okay?
Another question about the leave. So I took the leave when my son's school first closed for like 2 months. And I did the Fed time. They put supplement my vacation time to make up my regular pay. They took my whole 80 COVID hours plus vacation time. But the math don't add up, and my check was short. I tried calling payroll for months. I emailed, no return. It's been months since I've been back. To this day, no call back, no email, nothing.
Okay, that right there is going to be an issue that I'm going to have to defer back to Michael Dennis, and you and him are going to have to get together, probably have at least a 1 hour long conversation where you're going to have to show him all of your pay stubs and everything else. Okay?
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, copy that. So we'll get back to you on that one. ASAP, Omar.
All right.
Let's hear from Clarky. You have to unmute yourself. Clarky.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. This regarding about masks that they're giving out at the barn. They're only giving out those cloth masks, and I think that's not right. They should give us like a better this N95 masks, because right now there's more virus variant spreading around. I mean, worldwide. So I think we need a better mask than those cloth.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the agency is going to provide better masks in regards to that. We'll see what we can do about that, Clarky, but no promises, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's hear from Mohammed. Go ahead. You have to unmute yourself, Mohammed.
Hey,
All right, we can hear you.
Hi, Roger. This is Mohammed again. I have one more quick question about the safety of the operator because in this pandemic. So safety is our top priority in the SFMTS system. The safety of the operator, safety of the passenger, safety of the equipment. So don't we have a right, if there is a safety issue, we refuse to pull out the vehicle, is regardless the LRV, PCC, or motor rubber tire. As I know, on a LRV, we have very safe cab. We can close and we have the lock. We can sit, operate properly. But the rubber tire also has a door, the wooden door, and on top of the door, there is a glass protecting operator. If those not in a good shape, not working properly, not locking up, so the operator should refuse to pull out and fill out the defect card.
That's correct. It has to be documented. Now, it's completely different if you say, I don't feel safe on this bus because I wanted to have a, whatever full enclosure or 3/4 enclosure. Is completely different if you say that, because if it's already been approved by the government and the Department of Transportation in terms of safety, we don't have that authority to say, this is not, I don't like the style of the bus, or I don't like the style of the train. However, if something is defective, yes, you do not have to pull out. If there's a defective door, if there's a defective barrier shield, if the radio is defective, then you're correct. You have to write it up, you have to document it, and in the name of safety, you do not pull out that vehicle. That's correct.
That's why I say I'm not saying about the style of the door or anything. Whatever they already has put in place for operator safety, that they, on the rubber tire coach, so they have a door next to the operator, and also there is a shield, plastic shield, has a lock too. So that's what I'm talking about. If they are good and lock, so he should be able to pull out. If they are lock is no good, or they just door swinging, they put the rubber band on the back to hold the door. That's unsafe.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
So he can
and make sure that you do not pull those vehicles out in that manner.
Yes. So this will bring the attention quickly of the administration of SMTA if the operator make an issue.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry. So yeah, that will bring quick attention if operator, one or two operators do that and they fill out the report, and then even if they pull out, if the union guys say, okay, take it, brother, then we're going to take care of it. That will bring quick attention of the administration.
Copy that.
Thank you.
Definitely got to follow that. Thank you, Mohammed.
You're welcome.
Felix Antonio Castillo,
Yes, sir.
please go ahead.
That's so bad.
Yeah, well, I had three questions actually, piggybacking on what Clarito said earlier about the mask. He was talking about getting better masks and, but I think I haven't seen anyone using the white mask they're giving out nowadays. And at least the masks that were giving out before, 2 months before, I saw a lot of people using those. And I don't think it's such big of an issue bringing at least the ones they had back, or at least giving where we could option. I mean, if we could just bring it up to them, I don't think it would be such a big issue to say, because honestly, I don't think anyone's grabbing those cloth masks. They're really tiny. Second thing I wanted to say was to Pete Wilson on making the list of banning certain passengers who have caused trouble in the past. Because to what another operator was saying, yeah, what they'll do is they'll take the passenger off the bus, if anything, and he'll just hop on the bus right behind them for not wearing the mask. And it will just be some other operator's issue. Instead of having a system in place where we say, hey, I know you, I'm not gonna let you get on this bus and cause trouble here and wait for you to cause something on my bus again, and driving with that notion that he's a troublemaker. Like already having these repeat offenders banned. I know just looking at him, oh no, stopping that, bus stop. I don't know, where are we with that banning, making a list of passenger banning? And the third thing I want to say, is there any way to get like an official statement in a way with Jeff, maybe doing like an interview where we ask him some basic questions? I know that you guys just said that the Board of Supervisors had him with a 60-day response to respond when we're going to get the runs and the lines back. But it seems like waiting for a contract for these other issues we're having, like while we're allowing all-door boarding at nighttime, there's no one checking fares at night. What was the other ones that we have? Where are we at with COVID? RDO, parking, which was one of the biggest issues I'm feeling. How hard is it to just get a plaque or a sticker that says, I'm an essential worker, we're in special times? I mean, maybe nothing gets done, but at least having a response from right now, where we could probably sit down with Jeff or Julie and have like a small talk where we could ask them pre-approved questions, nothing too drastic. Are these possibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. We can get together. I wrote down, the issue that you're talking about right here, the boarding, all-door boarding specifically at night, RDO, parking, and we can set up a meeting next week.
Yeah, and just get their live response, do like a Zoom meeting, and everybody could chime in and listen to what they have to say and give us an update. Hear it from their mouth too, and how they say it. I think would go a long way that operators also feel respected from upper management.
Copy that.
And the banning, that would be great.
Okay, wrote that one down too. I'm not sure what that means or what that entails, but you said Pete Wilson might be working on a list to ban passengers or something. I'm not sure.
Well, my thought about that, Roger, and sorry, Don Felix, I don't know how we could, just because someone's on a list. There was a woman on the list, I don't know, it's about 5 years ago, right? She was graffitiing buses. And you know what they said? They said, oh, now she can only ride it to school, to work, and to church. And I'm like, maybe we should talk to somebody at her church or at her work and tell her to quit graffitiing the buses. And actually, I saw her name in the paper later. Her boyfriend got pulled over by the cops. She got out the other door, and you know what she did? She went and spray painted the cop car. So I think she did end up in jail. But will it help us keep those people off the bus? Maybe not. But what I would strive towards, and somebody was talking about catch and release earlier, that they catch people, they pull them off the bus, and maybe they take them someplace, but they release them. But maybe that something could be passed at some time that says, if you are on the no-fly list and you get caught doing something on a bus, that makes it more,
Right, more
yeah, if
severe.
I get on a bus and I start messing with somebody just because I'm in a bad mood and the police take me away, but if I come back and repeatedly do it, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about, Don, Felix. But so thanks for bringing it up.
Perfect. Let's hear from, it says Rashawn's iPhone.
Yes, Roger. I wanted to go back to the operator from Cable Car. This, and you said that you were going to address it, but I would like for you to address the issue for all night operators. This pertains to all night operators. And that's based on whatever person's family dynamic is. They've already, before this pandemic, we already signed up on certain runs at certain times that suited our family's issues, like the gentleman stated before. So he takes a night run so that he can be more involved with the children and maybe his wife, or maybe there isn't one, or who knows, but we've already set our schedules. They're using the pandemic again to say, okay, well, that doesn't matter. Come in the morning. It hasn't gotten to me yet, but I'm fearful of that because I would not be able to do a 7 till I mean, I have a cap number of 1600. I have Wednesday, Thursdays off because that's what works for my family. So that's what I'm saying. This should pertain to all night operators and try to, maybe they can figure out something else.
Okay, will do. And I don't know if, I think the chairperson from Cable Car might be working with this issue also with Pete Wilson, hence the reason why I literally just found out about this, maybe yesterday. And so now it's just 3 cable car operators, you and the other 2 that spoke to me yesterday and today. Maybe that's why I, just now realize what's going on with the cable car folks. But I think maybe Pete Wilson might have been working on this issue a little prior to me with the chairperson. So
I'll try and
ask
be
Pete.
brief, Roger. I'll try and be brief. Katie did call me this weekend about this issue because Demetrius, who is in charge of the dispatchers, had called him and said that some of the cable car operators would be furloughed and not be paid for the holiday. Now, if somebody is furloughed on the holiday, they are still supposed to get holiday pay. What I need is not Demetrius threatening, but actually to see somebody's paycheck and then we fight it. But if a cable car operator has weekends off and holidays off, they would not get, that's not furloughed plus taking away your holiday pay. You understand? There's weekends off, there's weekends and holidays off, right? So if you got weekends and holidays off, and we just have President's Day, then you would not get paid your run pay plus President's. But if they furloughed you, you should get paid 8 hours for the furlough and 8 hours for a holiday pay. If they try and pull up, oh no, but they're DSW workers, then we have to look at that and fight that. But talk to KD, please. Kevin is creating a list, and then we need to just just fight that all at one time. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Pete Wilson. And Rashawn, thanks for, bringing these issues up because I didn't know about this, and Omar Miller as well, thanks a lot for bringing these issues up. If you guys don't speak up and let us know, then we can't do anything because we don't know. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get some issues thrown at me and folks are like, you didn't know? I'm like, no, I didn't know. I had no idea, because oftentimes what happens is operators talk amongst themselves in the break room or on Facebook, and they complain to the entire world, but they never file anything. They never document it. They never write it down in the proper format to have a record of it. And it just turns into gossip. hearsay, innuendos, rumors, etc., because it never gets properly documented. But when the agency wants to document something on you, they don't spread rumors or go on Facebook or any of that nonsense, childish stuff. They simply write it down and they hand it to you in writing with their letterhead. They say, here it is, you're being suspended. Here it is, you're being given a non-paid furlough. Here it is, we're doing this. And that's the problem that we have as a group, as operators, is we don't document these things, you guys, and we have to start documenting. And documenting it means writing it down on their paper, on their miscellaneous. It means coming to the union and writing it down on our letterhead. That's what that means. It means filing it officially. It does not mean going on Facebook and complaining about it. That is not documenting it. So please go through the proper channels in the same way that the agency goes through the proper channels to document all of their evidence or correspondences against us. So please document it. We got good folks that are, helping out. Kevin Davis and Pete Wilson, Michael Dennis. We got a lot of folks that are ready, willing, and able to assist. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of things that have to get taken care of, a lot of issues that we have to ameliorate, but one by one, we will get there, slowly but surely. We can't do it all right now, but we will get there eventually, you guys, but we have to start documenting it, okay? So thank you for bringing all these issues up. They will get addressed, okay? Next. Any other questions, comments, concerns, issues that we have to address? Any chairpersons, any union reps? Anybody would like to say anything else? Please do a little virtual raise your hand. Oh, we have shop steward from Transit Fair Inspectors, Edwin Rosales. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Edwin.
Okay. So I wanted to kind of follow up on with I forgot who mentioned it about the mask and mask compliance. So from our end, what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to inform the patron to either put their mask on or to wear it properly. And after that, if it continues to happen, then we're supposed to inform the operator, and then the operator is supposed to then follow their protocol, which is called TMC, and then await further instructions. Some of the operators, Eon mentioned something about parking. A couple other operators mentioned parking as well, and we have been impacted as a department as well. A lot of TFIs who would either work at nights or on the day shift would park at Scott's Garage, and we as a department were actually removed from the list of access to the garage. And so I feel for some of the guys who have to get off at from Green, for instance, at 2 a.m. and having a place that's really far or might be unsafe to walk at in the middle of the night to get to their vehicles. Shortly after we had our access removed from Scott's Garage, my car was stolen from 12th and Howard. So I know I know all too well the issues that come about parking, and we've been actually trying to push something as that as well. And I think putting it in the contract would actually be a better way of going about it versus trying to get something for temporary solutions. So that's a great point that you brought up, Roger, as far as putting it together just like the mechanics have it in theirs.
Cool. Copy that. You guys, please reach out to the chairperson. Everybody on this call here, we're here to do the best that we can to assist in whatever way, shape, or form. We got Chairperson Anthony from Flynn. We got Chairperson Luke Jones from Azaleas Creek. We got Chairperson Ramon Galdemas from Green. Everybody's here to do the best that we can to lend a helping hand in whatever way, shape, or form we can. So please reach out and document it, you guys, not on Facebook, but on actual paper. Let's hear from Chairperson Anthony from Flynn.
Yeah, there's one other thing I'd like to remind everyone. About 4 weeks ago, your union leadership, as you do every Fridays, we had a meeting with management. And what was said is that the TS cannot write you up for arriving at a terminal early. And I talked to our Flynn division manager, Iffy, and he said, it's ridiculous for them to write us up. Because what Susanna, the manager of supervisor scheduling, stated that, if you arrive to the terminal early, what they're going to do, they're going to adjust your schedule. So, operators have been sitting front of Balboa Park on the 8th. And some of my operators been sitting on Ocean waiting for a time to go to the terminal so they don't get written up. I'm going to a meeting next week with an operator that arrived 6 minutes early. And if he's going to throw that out, because we did have a meeting with management. And of course, Luke knows all your chairs know this, and Pete knows this. If they're writing you up for turn up at terminal early, 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, they're not supposed to write you up. What they're supposed to do is adjust your schedule. But we don't want them to adjust your schedule because that means they're going to take time away, and time is money. And we always talk about not money, but we talk about time and safety. Time and safety equals money, so we just talk time and safety. So take your time, and you're going to get to terminal early. Don't sit somewhere for a while because you might get written up for that. Just take your time. But you get written up for going to the terminal early. Listen, they cannot do that. SMT management agreed that they're not going to write anyone up, but the TS is out there. The NIR is not getting this information out to his people, not to write us up. They're not supposed to write our operators up for getting to the terminal early. So you talk to your chairs. You do get a write up, and we got to get that taken care of so it does not go on your record.
Indeed, thank you for that. And like I just stated, a few minutes ago, you guys, I mean, all the chairpersons on the call, we're all here to do the best that we can to assist you guys in whatever way, shape, or form possible. So please reach out to the chairperson. We have almost all of the chairpersons on the call today. We have, some of their vice chairpersons and some of the secretaries on the call as well. So, everybody on the call today is here, like I said, to assist. So please reach out to them and let them know. Not Facebook. Please don't do Facebook. Write
5
things
seconds.
down, okay? Go ahead,
Roger,
Pete Wilson.
real quick. Everybody look at my screen. I'm sharing this is a paddle. Okay. This is something we asked for. Look right here. When it talks about the end time, this says approximate was too big. You have an approximate end time. I spoke to TW 200, the supervisors. They told me they have not been trained in anything about headway schedules. You show them that. Don't fight them on that. You show them that. Anthony and Iffy both know what is correct. It's an approximate end time. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Anybody else? Any last comments? Final thoughts, remarks before we sign off? Okay, in that case, you guys just have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for zooming in. I hope you were able to get some helpful, useful information. Feel free to unmute yourselves and say hi, bye, good night. It's all good, you guys. Thank you.
Hi, bye, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you,
Good night.
everyone.
Hey, bye.
Good night, everyone.